Every day, life presents us with a tapestry of moments, some grand and memorable, others easily overlooked and seemingly mundane. Yet buried within the ordinary, there are uncommon experiences that hold the power to reshape our perspectives, our choices, and ultimately our destinies. These moments may arrive quietly, disguised as routine events or unexpected encounters, but in their subtlety, they often carry lessons that linger long after the moment has passed. Consider the simple act of waiting in line at a busy cafe. At first glance, it's just another delay in the rush of daily life. But pay attention to the atmosphere, the hum of conversation, the gentle clatter of cups, the barista's smile as she greets each customer. As you stand there, a realization dawns. Patience is not about enduring inconvenience, but about embracing presence. In this pause, you become aware of the lives intersecting with yours, their stories momentarily aligned with your own. The lesson here is profound. Life is not always about moving forward at full speed. Sometimes the richest experiences come when we are forced to slow down, observe, and appreciate the world around us. Patience, then, becomes an invitation to mindfulness, to gratitude, and to connection. Another life-changing lesson can emerge from the act of helping a stranger. Imagine you're walking home on a rainy evening, and you notice someone struggling with a heavy suitcase at the foot of a steep staircase. Without thinking, you offer a hand, and together you ascend the steps. The exchange is brief, a few words, a grateful smile, and then you part ways. Later, reflecting on this encounter, you realize how small gestures of kindness can ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. The lesson is clear. Compassion is not reserved for grand gestures or dramatic acts. It resides in the everyday, in the willingness to see the needs of others and respond with empathy. These moments remind us that the world is woven together by acts of generosity, and that we each have the power to make a difference, however modest. Sometimes, the most transformative experiences happen in solitude. Picture yourself on a quiet morning, sipping coffee as sunlight filters through the window. The world outside is still, and for a moment, you are alone with your thoughts. In this solitude, self-reflection becomes possible. You contemplate your recent decisions, your hopes, your fears, and in this gentle introspection, you begin to understand yourself more deeply. The lesson here is about self-awareness, about the importance of carving out time to listen to your inner voice. In a culture that prizes constant activity and external validation, these moments of solitude are uncommon treasures. They teach us to honor our own minds, to embrace vulnerability, and to seek growth from within. There are also lessons that arise from failure. Imagine you've spent weeks preparing for a presentation at work, only to have technical difficulties derail your plans. The disappointment is sharp. Frustration threatens to overwhelm. But as you regroup and adapt, you discover reserves of resilience you didn't know you possessed. You improvise, you persist, and ultimately, you deliver your message in a new way. The lesson is unmistakable. Failure is not the end, but a beginning. It forces us to confront our limitations, to innovate, grow, and to persevere. In these humbling moments, we learn that success is not defined by flawless execution, but by the courage to continue, even when the path is uncertain. An uncommon lesson can also be found in the act of listening, truly listening to another person. Imagine you are in conversation with a friend who is grappling with a difficult decision. Rather than offering advice or rushing to judgment, you simply listen. You allow silence to exist, you let their words unfold, and in doing so, you create space for understanding. This act of deep listening transcends the superficial exchange of information. It becomes an act of respect, of validation, and of love. The lesson is that empathy is built not through speaking, but through listening. When we listen without agenda, we show others that their experiences matter, and we strengthen the bonds of trust that hold our relationships together. Sometimes, these lessons are sparked by unexpected encounters with nature. Imagine stepping outside after a long day, only to be greeted by a sudden downpour. Instinctively, you run for cover, but then you pause, feeling the cool rain against your skin. In that moment, you are reminded of the unpredictability of life, the beauty of surrendering to what cannot be controlled. The rain washes away your worries, if only for a moment, and you realize that joy can be found in the acceptance of what is. The lesson here is about embracing uncertainty, about finding delight in the spontaneous and the unpredictable. Nature teaches us to let go, to adapt, and to remain open to the surprises that life offers. Another everyday experience with transformative potential is the act of learning something new. Picture yourself attempting to cook a new recipe, fumbling with unfamiliar ingredients and techniques. The process is messy, mistakes are made, but as you persist, you find satisfaction in the act of creation. The dish may not be perfect, but the journey has expanded your horizons. The lesson is clear. Growth comes from the willingness to step outside your comfort zone, to risk failure in pursuit of mastery. Each new experience, however small, adds to the tapestry of your life, teaching you resilience, curiosity, and adaptability. Uncommon lessons also emerge from moments of gratitude. Imagine you receive an unexpected note of thanks from a colleague, acknowledging your support on a recent project. The words are simple, but their impact is profound. You realize how often we overlook the power of appreciation, both in giving and receiving. Gratitude transforms relationships, fosters trust, and brings joy to everyday interactions. The lesson is that acknowledgement, however brief, has the ability to uplift and inspire. By cultivating gratitude, we nurture a sense of abundance, seeing the gifts that life offers even in its most ordinary moments. There is wisdom to be found in moments of vulnerability. Picture yourself sharing a personal story with a group of friends, unsure of how it will be received. As you speak, you feel exposed, but the response is one of understanding and support. In that act of openness, barriers dissolve and connections deepen. The lesson here is that vulnerability is not weakness, but strength. It invites authenticity, encourages empathy, and builds community. By daring to be seen, we invite others to do the same, creating spaces where true healing and growth can occur. As we journey through everyday life, these uncommon experiences beckon us to pause, to reflect, and to learn. They remind us that wisdom is not reserved for dramatic moments or life-altering decisions. Rather, it is woven into the fabric of daily existence, waiting to be discovered by those who are attentive and open. Whether through patience, kindness, self-reflection, resilience, empathy, surrender, curiosity, gratitude, or vulnerability, each lesson has the power to change us, guiding us toward greater understanding and fulfillment. Ultimately, the most life-changing lessons are not found in textbooks or grand speeches, but in the quiet, unassuming moments that fill our days. By embracing these experiences, we unlock the potential for growth, connection, and transformation in every corner of our lives. The invitation is simple. Open your heart, pay attention, and let the everyday teach you what it means to live fully, bravely, and compassionately.